So welcome you all to the FR orientation for March 2025 quarter. So in this session, I'm going to first deliver what I want to talk about this paper, and then I'll take your doubts as well. Like if you are starting with your ACCA with this exam, you might have many extra doubts. Plus, if you're already an enrolled student, you might have doubts related to where to find what and can I pass this paper if I've not given F3. All such doubts I'll deal towards the end. So right now, let's talk just about financial reporting paper, what exactly this paper is, and how we are going to make sure that we pass it in the very first go, that is March 2025. So how many of you here are giving FR for the first time? Just raise your hands. Is it your first paper in ACC and are you giving it for the first time or you are resitting it? All of you should answer in the chat box. Okay, first time for 2. Second paper in ACCA, first attempt. Great. First. Okay. So now the point is that we are giving this paper for the first time. We don't know the format of this paper. Plus, if we are entering into ACCA via the FR paper, because that is the most recommended paper, once you start with your qualification, give FR first. That should be your stepping stone. So if you're starting with your ACCA with FR, then you need more information on the exam format, the way ACCA thinks, the way questions are framed, what do they expect out of you in the paper, all that we are going to discuss today. Now, if I talk about financial reporting, you need to understand that this paper is divided into 60% and 40%. So 60% of my exam is objective type, where I'm just supposed to answer MCQs or maybe give one figure as an answer, like this much million is the answer, or if I just choose the right option like an MCQ. So 60% of my success is dependent on objective questions, MCQs. And the rest of the 40% of my success, that is dependent on answer writing, whether that answer writing is for group accounts. It can be when you have to make a P&L, or it can be that you're supposed to make a balance sheet. It can be that you're supposed to interpret the balance sheet and the P&L. That means the company has already made their financial statements and you're just supposed to comment that whether this company is good enough or not, should I invest in this business or not. So that is the subjective part of the paper, 40%. So 60% MCQs from various standards, accounting standards, and 40% mere subjective questions. So now the point is that what should be my strategy? Should I ace or should I become excellent in the subjective part, or should I prioritize the objective part? See, many people out there say that if you're good in subjective part, 40%, you're good to go. But I don't believe this. I go by the majority. Objective questions are, first of all, easy to handle. MCQs are something that we all can do. It's not like if there is a time pressure, I can't solve an MCQ. No, I can. So I should be really good at solving MCQs. That means my practice for section A and section B. I'll talk about the exam format. So basically, section A and section B have MCQs. So my performance in section A and B should be the best one. Now, if I talk about the section C, that is basically my subjective questions. That is that I should be able to do to bearably pass. So my first intention is that I need to get a perfection in MCQs. Second priority is given to section C questions, which are long questions. And I'm not saying that just pass this paper, aim for ranks. You can get ranks. You can get an 80 plus score in FR. One of my students in one of the previous attempts, I think in 2023, he got 94 marks. So yes, it's possible to get 94, 98 as well. World exam toppers are getting 98 also. Because this whole paper is like either the answer is right or wrong. So there is no subjectivity involved. It's like you're getting a calculation. So calculation will either be right or wrong. The profit that you got finally can be right or wrong. So there is no like, if your calculation goes wrong, you lose your marks. So yes, calculation based questions in maths. If you're good in maths, you can get 100 on 100 in maths. Same way, in FR, if you're good in accounts, you can get 100 or 100 in FR. So my point is, I'm not saying that don't give your best shot in section C, that is subjective type questions. Please give your best shot, but give your priority to section A and B, that is MCQs. So let us discuss everything about financial reporting, the syllabus, by which date I should be done with which part of my syllabus. I'll discuss literally everything in this session. So this is our March 2025 orientation class that you all have joined today. So if you want to enroll into our paid courses, which will have recordings and weekly live sessions, which is not necessary will be on weekends. It can be weekdays also, and mostly weekdays, because weekends I've kept for the SBR and AAA papers. So you can just visit the website tgprofs.com and you can apply the 10% discount coupon on the fee stated there, and 10% off is going on 150 US dollars. So 150 US dollars is the base price, and you can of course claim 10% discount on the same. Now the question arises, what in the world is financial reporting? So financial reporting is about communication of numbers. So when I'm communicating numbers of my company, when I'm communicating what profit did I make, what loss did I incur, what was my asset, liability, equity. So basically, I'm telling the stakeholders, people who are interested in my business, that what was my performance and position. So I'm telling about performance and position. These are the two things that I'm actually answering. So communication of numbers, and I'm talking about their performance and position. So when I do this, this is known as financial reporting. Financial means numbers, reporting means communication. So this whole paper is about reporting and communication of numbers. Now, when you communicate, you must have a language to communicate so that everyone can understand your communication. That is why we have a language set for international companies, corporates. That is International Financial Reporting Standard, IFRS. So these are the IFRSs which are tested in your FR paper, right? So these IFRSs are basically you have done your class 11, class 12 from, if you're from India, so you must have done it from CBSE. So in our class 11th, we used to make accounts. We used to do journal, ledger, trial balance. Then we used to make P&L, and then we used to make balance sheet and statement of cash flow as well. So all these things we used to do in class 11th, rectification of errors, creation of provisions, doubtful debt, bad debt, all these terms we are comfortable with, and we know these terms from our class 11th. Now, these terms are prerequisite knowledge in this paper. So if you're coming from an exemption route, that means you're not given F3, you are exempted from the first 5 papers. So yes, you need this base. You need to know how journals are passed. You need to know how journal entries work. You need to know how to make trial balances and how to make P&L. Yes, P&L we'll make in this paper also, but at least basic idea. What is cost of goods sold? You should know that. So if you know these things from your financial accounting F3 paper, good. If you have not given F3 paper, I'm sure you must have done it in your BCom, or you must have done it in your class 11th commerce. If yes, then there's no issue. We can pass FR. I'll teach everything from scratch. So if I'm talking about property, plant and equipment, I'll teach that from scratch. So financial reporting is communication of numbers, where I'll just talk about IFRSs. So in class 11th also, I was communicating numbers, but that was without language. That was without any prerequisite knowledge of, what is IFRSs. There were no standards back then. So I was charging depreciation, that was normal depreciation. There was not a standard dealing with depreciation. So if I was saying that this is how P&L is made, there was no standard telling me how P&L is made. I was saying that this is how statement of financial position is made. Again, there was no standard telling me how to present a balance sheet. So point is that in class 11th, it was all immature. Everything was messy. But now we've got it in a very, easy way. And that easy way is basically nothing but IFRSs. Now, what these IFRSs actually are, and who makes IFRSs? So IFRSs are accounting standards through which I know, for example, if I have a mobile with me, how will I record this mobile in my financial statements? So there should be a standard to tell me. If I have any uncertainty regarding my going concern, that means whether I'll be running this business or not. If there is an uncertainty regarding this, which standard tells me how to deal with that? If I say find the cost of the asset, how to find the cost of the asset? There should be a rule. Because if I leave accountants ruleless, like, you can do whatever you want to do, they'll always manipulate. They'll always do window dressing. They'll try to inflate the revenue, inflate the assets, deflate the liabilities, deflate the expenses. That's their mindset. Because every company wants to get investment. They want to get listed, or they want to maximize their shareholder wealth. That means they want to maximize their share price. And because they want to do this, they always try to manipulate financial statements. And to stop them from doing so, I've made certain rules and procedures that this is how you treat an asset, this is how you treat a liability, this is how you record your income and your losses. So that's why IFRSs are giving you a standardized process across countries that how accounting should be done. And who is making these standards? It's the IASB, International Accounting Standard Board, IASB. And they have a proper format that is part of your syllabus, in fact, that how IFRSs are made. They're proper, structure, that who's making the standard, who's revising the standards, who's actually, just reviewing the standards, who's drafting the words. All those things are divided in a hierarchy. And that is what is there in your syllabus also. And then, of course, various standards are there relating to property, plant, and equipment. So this mobile phone for me, this mic for me is my PPE, property, plant, and equipment. This is an equipment that I'm using for business purposes. So basically, this is my equipment. Now, how should I record this equipment in my accounts? IAS 16, International Accounting Standard 16 will tell me. Then what if I say that because you are here, because PG Profs has a goodwill. So that goodwill is not something that I can see, touch, or transfer, but it is a reputation in the market. So that reputation, can I see it? No. Can I touch it? No. So how do I record it? Reputation. How should I record that reputation? That is known as an intangible asset. Something that you can't touch, see, and transfer is your intangible asset. So there is a proper standard on it, IS 38. How do you record it, depreciate it? How do you depreciate this mic? How do you amortize intangible asset? What are the various types of intangible assets? That's part of your syllabus. Then if you get a government grant, if you're a business and you get government aid, how do you record that government grant? If you're paying loan interest on an asset, how do you record that borrowing cost? So everything, literally everything a company is doing, promotional expenses, direct cost, asset purchase, asset sale, intangible asset, current liability, inventories, agriculture, you can say your, even if you have provisions to be created, a court case is going against you, how will you deal with it in accounts if a fine is due? So all these things which a company deals with, buying of raw materials, selling of raw finished goods, how do you deal with it? If you've signed a contract with your customer, all these standards are available in IFRSs, and that's what your syllabus is comprised of. So what exactly our format of the exam is? Let's see the format of the exam. See, in our section A, there is a section A, section B, and section C. So in section A, I will have 15 questions worth 2 marks each, MCQs, 30 marks. So these are basically MCQs only. And these are independent from each other. Question number 1 is independent from question number 2. Question number 2 is independent from question number 3. They have different pieces of information. Then we have section B. This section B is basically where I have again 3 case studies. Each case study will have further 5 questions worth 2 marks. So what is this coming out to be? 3 into 5, 15, 15 into 2, 30. So the section B is also 30 marks. Now this is case study based. So one case study with 5 subparts. One case study with 5 subparts, which are all MCQs only. Again, we don't have any negative marking in ACCA. So if you are not able to get an answer, no MCQ option is available to you. That means you are not getting the right answer. So you can do the guesswork because there is no negative marking. And that's the best thing. I can do a smart guess and I should not leave my paper blank. So one case study, 5 subparts, all are MCQs. Section C. Section C is basically where I have 2 questions. Each question is worth 20 marks. And these are subjective questions. So 40 marks here. So these are subjective questions. And usually this question is coming from either single entity. Okay. That means I'm supposed to make individual P&L or individual balance sheet, or I'm getting it from group accounts, which is a section in your syllabus, or this is coming from interpretation. So interpretation is always there in the paper. So interpretation is something which will remain constant. Rest single entity group accounts can be like either I can get on single entity or I can get on group accounts. So the point is that 40% of my mark allocation, 40% of my mark allocation is for section C, subjective type questions. And the first section A and section B are giving me 60% of my marks in the form of MCQs. So MCQs can be from any area of your syllabus. NCA, that is non-current assets, IS 16, IS 20, IS 23, IS 40 investment property, IS 38 intangibles. Then you have your IFRS 5. You have IS 36 impairment. So all these standards form part of NCA, non-current assets. So that can be there in section A, widely tested. IFRS 15 and IFRS 9 are usually tested in section B. So you can get any question in section A or section B from any part of your syllabus. There's no bar to it. And nobody can predict it. I can't predict the topics of the MCQs because they will be from literally every topic. One question from one topic can be asked. There are total 15 questions in the section A. So 15 topics can be tested. Another 15 questions in section B. So another 15 topics can be tested. So literally it can be from any area of my syllabus. But section C, I can predict single entity, group accounts, or interpretation. So these are something that I should prepare really well. I should really prepare well for these topics, isn't it? So this is what is there in format of my paper. 30 marks, section A, MCQ, 30 marks, section B, MCQ, 40 marks, section C. I have to do this on my Word file if it is interpretation. Single entity or group accounts, I need to do it on spreadsheet. With time, in the class, we'll start solving questions on ACCA CBE platform, and you would actually understand how things will work. Now, going forward, if you look at your study planner, that's the planner that I've made, even if you're a self-study student. So many students will watch this class on YouTube as a recording. So this is the plan that you can follow even if you're doing self-study. So starting today, which is 16th of December, first you should cover the basic areas. Non-current assets, which include IS 16, 38, 40, IFRS 5, IS 36, IS 20, IS 23. Non-current assets, basics of financial reporting, conceptual framework, and IFRS 13. These are a lot of topics to do. So I have given you full recordings on these topics, bifurcated small crisp videos. Under IS 16, there are various headings, and under that, I have given you crisp videos. So you'll watch them. With each video, the notes are attached from 16th December till 26th December. If with a video note is not attached, that means you have to take running notes from that video. Maybe that concept is either not so important which is why the notes are not attached. So you can just be okay with going through the video, or it's okay if you take running notes. That's your choice. Usually the topics with higher intensity of technical knowledge, I always attach the PDF or the PPT that I use in the class. So 16 December till 26 December, 10 days, you have to do these topics. So take it slow. Don't rush in the beginning, because otherwise you will feel tired right after 2, 3 days and you'll fall off the plan. So start it slow till 26 December, get done with these area. And 26 December, right after Christmas, we are going to meet at 8 p.m. Indian time, and we are going to do practice of these areas, even though a lot of practice questions are given to you on the portal as well. But we'll still do more practice in the live class. Plus, you can ask your doubts in this live class. If you miss the live class, the recording will be uploaded for you. And you are added into a WhatsApp group where you can ask your technical doubts. There is a tutor assistant to reply you on those doubts. If you want to ask your doubts directly to me, then please be there in the live session, which is happening every week. Then IFRS 15, 16, and 9. 15 is on revenue, how to record my sales. If I have a contract with a customer, how to record that. IFRS 16, if I take anything on rent or give anything on rent, how to record that. IFRS 9, if I buy shares of a company or I issue my loan notes, that means I issue bonds or I buy bonds, how to record that. This is the standard that you have to cover, very important standards, which are part of single entity concept. These two things are part of single entity. Even this is part of single entity. So all these three sections are nothing but single entity. So IFRS 15, 6, 9, you have to get done from 27th December till 6th January. And 6th of January, we are going to have a class called Practice and Doubts, 8 p.m. time. Then deferred taxation, you pay tax to the government, how to record it. Your provisions, you create liabilities, right? Then IS 10, and there are some other small standards as well. Other small standards include your, like for example, IS 2 is there. Then you have a standard like, very small standards. For example, you have standards on agriculture also, which are like not so important, but still they exist. IS 8 is there, change in accounting estimate and policy, small standards. Cover them from 16th of January till 13th of January, and you have a live class on 13th January. Then group accounts, 20 marker question will be there from group accounts. So from 14th January till 23rd January, do it from the recordings. We meet on 23rd January with the question and with doubts. Interpretation, 20 marker, subjective question. Interpretation involves ratios. IS 33 is also part of interpretation. EPS, earning per share, that's a ratio that you calculate. How do you calculate it? That's widely tested in FR. So from 24th January till 31st January, do this. And 31st January, we'll have a live class for the same. So effectively by 31st January, that is end of January, we are completing our syllabus with a lot of practice. Because we are doing practice in the recordings also. And there are practice sessions and live classes also. Now, effectively, what I'll do is right after I get done with my syllabus, I will also do more questions, and these more questions are to be done as part of Ultimate Planner. So 31st January only, your syllabus will get completed. Then in first week of February, I will let out your Ultimate Planner, following which you will decide which questions to do when. So I will give you a day-wise schedule. On these dates, do these questions. On these dates, do these questions. So I'll give you a day-wise schedule. So Ultimate Planner will be daily practice schedule. And some questions will be provided on the portal as a recording. So we use Kaplan Kit. So Kaplan Kit questions are solved on the portal as a recording, which you will use, and you will follow your Ultimate Planner. Like I have super 50 question MCQs. So I will be doing this fresh this time. Old one is already there. New one will be done. So there will be effectively 100 MCQs that we do like 3 to 4 hours session. So 3 to 4 hour session is recorded, 3 to 4 hour session will be live, month of February. So basically just by 31st January, we are getting done with simultaneous practice and concept. Then after that, we're just focusing on practice because practice will make you perfect. It's not the concept which will help you pass. ACCA is all about application skill. We all might know that this is how we calculate property, plant and equipment, but we might do it wrong. We'll learn it with practice only. So practice is going to make you perfect. So make sure you focus on that, right? So Super 50 MCQs are very important. Then if I talk about how to study, you have to follow the lecture, the recording. You have to keep your Kaplan text with you. You can get PDF of this, okay? I'll suggest that you should follow the Kaplan text and Kaplan kit. So read the notes attached with the chapter or the recording. Refer to the text TYUs. Test yourself questions, not the whole text. Like no need to read the theory of the text, but just the illustrations which are there. The test yourself questions which are there in the text. Only those. I've also done these TYUs in the recorded videos. So it's not that you will not understand what I'm talking about. TYUs are solved in recordings also. So while watching the lecture also, I'll mention in the class that these are the things that you're referring to. Then you will attend the live practice class on that particular topic. And then you will do questions from the exam kit. And finally, you will give assignments. So how many assignments will you guys have? One assignment, two, three, four, five. 5 assignments, 2 mocks. One is marked, another is debriefed. So this is what we have in the sessions. Topic-wise, unit-wise assignments, 2 full-fledged mocks. One is marked, another is only debriefed, not marked. So this is what we provide in the package of the premium batch. It's a blend model where basically you have the recordings and the live classes which are happening on the weekdays, 8 p.m. time as per the schedule that I've given to you. Now, if you follow this schedule, you'll be good to go. Otherwise, many students I've seen in the FR level, they keep the things towards the end. They keep on procrastinating. I'll do this tomorrow. I'll do this tomorrow. Because we just started with ACCA, so we don't understand the intensity. And we take it for granted because we feel, oh, MCQs. In the skill level, FR has very less pass percentage, honestly. And the reason for that is because people are taking it for granted. People are not passing this paper because they believe, oh, MCQs means they're easy. So we will do it, no problem. And then they end up failing the paper because they keep on piling up the syllabus till the end and then everything just explodes. So make sure that you are not doing it. You're starting early, you complete early. You have a lot of time for practice, and that's the only when you can secure a pass or something above 70. Right? So this is what we have in the batch. And I think I'm done with what I wanted to say from FR perspective. If you have doubts, please post it in the chat box. Okay. So one student is saying, ma'am, in sub parts of section B, all are MCQs. Yes, MCQs plus one word answers. So not just MCQs, one word answers are also there. Like you have to fill in the blank. So that's also there. Do we need a scientific calculator with us? Yes. Yes. For the calculation of present value, you would need it. What do you mean by basics? Okay. So basics are, okay, basics are what is financial reporting, how do you present the financial statements, IS1, P&L and balance sheet, how do you make notes to accounts. So those are basics. So if you go to the portal, there is a basic section where I've basically done the what is financial reporting, how IFRSs are made, that part. Right. Ma'am, since I graduated with a degree in BAF, I'll be claiming 5 exemptions. Okay, Mayuri. Do I still need a foundation in accounting considering it's been 8 to 9 months since I graduated? Uh, I believe if you remember debits and credits, Mayuri, do you remember class 11th accounts? Do you remember, or are you good at it? Were you good at it? Yeah, that's it. That's what you need. Nothing else. Also, these five parts into which the syllabus has been divided, is it like chapter wise or mixed? This is mixed. This is as per the portal recordings. I'm not moving as per the sequence of the text. I'm moving in my own sequence, which is relevant to the, you know, whatever is material, I've kept it first. And some things are like for group accounts, I need to do everything first and then group accounts. So I've kept it at end. So I'm moving in my own direction. So follow the direction that I've given to you. You'll easily be able to find the chapter related to that topic in the text. So if you're doing IFRS 15, the index will say revenue from contracts with customer. So you'll figure it out. NCA I'm doing, you'll get to know which chapter is related to NCA. Anyway, in the recorded class, I open the text in front of you. So you get to know which chapter I'm opening. Ma'am, will you teach us how to answer the questions? Yes, yes, of course. I am going to tell you how to answer it in the computer. We are going to do mocks on ACCA CB platform, computer-based exam. So I would, you know, follow the you can say the guidelines of ACCA, where we are going to solve papers on spreadsheet and Word files and CB platform. Do we need BPP or Kaplan is enough? Mayuri, honestly, FR, if done on time, will give you a lot of time to do second kit also. And I've seen people who do two kits, my students only. For example, the student I said got 94, he did two kits. Even though I said do one kit only, because my motive was that the students pass. And I don't want to confuse you. And I know that you procrastinate and you don't take it on time. So at least do once, one kit. That's the minimum requirement. But if you are a student who is curious, who wants to do extra, who wants to put an extra effort and not just like pass with a 60 or a 70, but aim to get something 90 plus, then why not? If you've done Kaplan kit MCQs, I'm not saying full questions, I'm not saying section C. If you have done MCQs of Kaplan, you can also try MCQs of BPP, right? But my suggestion for the students who are like in the crunch of time, maybe you're working, so one kit is enough, right? How many of you are working here, or are we full-time students? Swapna, we are going to have recordings. So it's like this is a recorded plus live model. So you are doing the concept via the recording, and the doubt session and the practice session is happening on once a week. I hope it's clear. So there is a live part to it, but that live part is not daily. That's not for concepts, it's for doubts and practice. How many hours a day we need to give for FR, and do we need to have knowledge of Excel file advanced one? No, not advanced Excel skills required, not at all. Basic plus minus division multiplication, that's what you require. And I would say even if you study 1.5 hours every day, you're good to go if you start now. If you take time, then if you start later on, then maybe 2-3 hours a day. I'm working. Oh, ma'am, where to attain PDF files of Kaplan text and kit? You are added into a WhatsApp group. So I'll let you know how you can fix that. Okay, working. So many of you are working, right? And it takes courage to give an exam being a working student, but we usually take shelter of it and say that I don't get time to study because I'm working. But I believe being professionals, you know it better. You know how to manage your time. You know how to manage your schedule. You're professional. Students, they tend to have those distractions, and they're always lucrated of not following a plan. But I think working people, they know the value of time. And I believe you should be better in preparation as compared to other students who are full-time students. No need of study hub. Just the recordings, notes, text, and exam kit. Just. So one student is saying, I'm a mom of two and I'm also working full-time. So I'll be very happy to help you And let's see how it goes. I know it will take a lot of courage, but I'm sure you'll do it. You're already having a lot of courage. You're managing two kids and work together. So, of course, you'll manage FR. FR will be a butterwork for you. Not as bad as managing family and work, that too being a mom of two. Like, hats off. So, we can take motivation from her. He's just directly messaged me. So, yeah. So there are such students also. I used to have one student and she was 56 years old and doing ACCA from the UK. And I think she's still doing ACCA. But I always give her example in my classes that there's no age bar, there's no uh, excuse to say that I didn't do it and I can't do it because of this. There's always a reason to opt for it. There's always a motivation to do it. So if others can do it, if you can handle so many things in your life, whether it is family life, your work life, then why not an exam? If you put effort in that exam, you can also manage that, right? So let's be patient, let's be motivated, plus let's be encouraged to start this attempt, March 2025 attempt. Let's pass it together. Let's leave behind bad habits like procrastination, laziness, taking things for granted, and let's focus on our work and studies together, right? Okay, Dhwani is saying, I'm preparing for FR and AA together. Is there anything I need to know in March? No. Is there anything I need to know? What would you need to know? If you're doing FR and AA, go ahead with it. Best combination. Mayuri is saying, ma'am, in recorded sessions, if we come across doubts, so how that will be cleared, like apart from your live classes. Mayuri, that's what I said. There's a WhatsApp group in which you will be added. Also on the portal, there is on the right side, there is a community tab. You can ask your doubt in the community tab. That's a new thing we have introduced. Or you can ask your doubt in the WhatsApp group that you're part of. So once you enroll, you get access to a premium WhatsApp group where there is a tutor assistant and I am also there. So he clarifies your doubt if I'm not available. Plus, I'm also available in the live classes. So you can take your doubts to the live sessions as well. Okay, got it. Let's not amend that aslaha now. But I got it. That was sarcastic, right? Two toddlers and not going out to work. So that's it. And glad to have all of you on board. And let's meet you in the next upcoming live session on 26th of December, right after Christmas. Enjoy your Christmas. Do your concepts, NCA, IFRS 13, conceptual framework and everything. And then let's meet on 26th December and rock our Section A non-current asset questions. So that's it for today, guys. I hope it was a helpful session. This planner will be shared with you on your WhatsApp group, and this video will be available tomorrow on YouTube channel and your portal. As soon as I post it on YouTube at 6 p.m. Indian time, I'll also upload it on your portal. Plus, the planner that I shared today, that will be available right after the class on your WhatsApp group, the FR March 2025 group, right? One last thing, how many hours would you suggest a day to move according to your study plan? As I said, 1.5 hours a day, enough. Not more than that. Don't overstress yourself. To begin with, keep it slow. Okay, listen to the recordings very carefully, take notes of them. I'm a kind of a person who would love to take running notes. Things get into my brain only when I take running notes. I can't, as a student, not as a tutor, but I can't digest something just by listening to it or just by seeing a note. I should write it with my own hands. So if you are also a kind of student, take your time. I've given you a lot of time as per the plan. 10 days. Take your time, do that concept, do the TYUs of that concept, get your conceptual clarity, and then move to the next topic. So don't overstress yourself, but also don't procrastinate, right? Maintain the balance. So that's it. Thank you, everyone. God bless you all. See you on 26th of December. And let's start with this attempt with a smile. And I hope everyone passes with flying colors. And I will upload this video tomorrow at 6 p.m. Indian time on my YouTube channel by the name of Tashwita Gupta. So thanks, goodbye, take care, and good night. Bye, everyone.